In 2011, there was a trade offered to the Los Angeles Lakers that would have made them the ultimate dynasty. It was a three-way trade proposed by the New Orleans Hornets, sending away 26-year-old Chris Paul to the Lakers. Paul demanded the trade at the time to get him out of New Orleans. The Lakers had to give up Lamar Odom, Kevin Martin, Louis Scola, Goran Dragic, and a first-round pick. For a player of Chris Paul's caliber, it was a steal for the Lakers that would put them on the top of the league. But David Stern didn't like this trade one bit. He stopped the trade dead in its tracks and explained why later in a Sports Illustrated article. In it, he said he felt like the return package the Lakers had to give up to the Hornets wasn't enough for a player like CP3. Many people thought how this trade would have affected the league if it went through. Well, for today, we'll be looking at this scenario through a simulation. But before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you know when I upload some new NBA content. Also, like the video and comment down below what you want to see me upload next. Now, let's get into the video. The 2010 to 2011 NBA season. Let's start discussing the season with a blockbuster trade that happened. The Hornets and Lakers have worked out a trade to send CP3 to the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers now have a starting five with Chris Paul at point guard, Kobe Bryant at shooting guard, Metta World Peace at small forward, Paul Gasol at power forward, and Andrew Bynum at center. They finished with a 70-12 record, clinching the first seed overall. The MVP award for that year went to LeBron from the Miami Heat, and the Defensive Player of the Year was Dwight Howard. Kobe Bryant made it into the first All-NBA team, and Chris Paul made it into the second All-NBA team. The Lakers plowed through their competition in the playoffs, but had a bit of trouble in the conference finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They barely made it past them by winning by 6 points in Game 7. After that matchup, they had to play against the scariest team in the league besides themselves, of course. It was the Miami Heat dynasty. It was a very back and forth series, and they were tied with 3 wins apiece. For the last game, they had to go into double overtime, and with the Lakers down by 1 with 4 seconds left, they had the ball. They inbounded it towards Kobe Bryant, and he took the best shot he could over the king, LeBron James. It rattled around the rim, and eventually, it dropped in. The Lakers have won a championship with Kobe Bryant as the Finals MVP. Not only was today memorable because of the Lakers winning a championship, today was the day that many people think the best basketball moment took place in Kobe Bryant's buzzer beater shot. Time to move on to the next season. The 2011 to 2012 NBA season. During the offseason, every team stayed pretty much the same. No big free agency signings occurred. The Lakers finished with a 64-18 record, finishing first in the West, but second overall behind the Miami Heat. LeBron yet again won another MVP award, along with Chris Paul as the Defensive Player of the Year. This year, Kobe Bryant and Chris Paul both were in the first All-NBA team. Chris Paul finished with averages of 26 points, 13 assists, and 3 steals. And Kobe Bryant finished with averages of 32 points, 7 assists and rebounds, and 2 steals. In the playoffs, it was pretty much the same as last year. The Lakers cruised through the playoffs, but struggled against the OKC Thunder, and later beat them. Then they matched up against the Miami Heat in the finals. Only this time the Heat outplayed the Lakers and won in a 6-game series. LeBron received Finals MVP, and the Heat have won a championship. Hopefully next season, the Lakers will step up and take the championship title from Miami. I guess we'll see. The 2012 to 2013 NBA season. During the offseason, there was no big changes or free agency signings, except one. The Lakers knew Kobe was declining from his prime, and it was going to be very tough to play against the growing Miami dynasty, so they had to get a big name player to help them out, and that player was Marc Gasol. Now, the Lakers have a front court of brothers with Paul and Marc Gasol. During the offseason, Marc showed how impactful of a player he could be. The Lakers finished with a 74-8 record, crushing the Warriors' regular season record. Kevin Durant won the MVP award, and Dwight Howard received the Defensive Player of the Year award yet again. Kobe and CP3 made it into the second All-NBA team. Chris Paul finished with averages of 24 points, 12 assists, and 2.5 steals. And Kobe finished with averages of 26 points, 6 rebounds and assists, and 2 steals. The Lakers did exceptionally well in the playoffs, crushing through their competition and even beating OKC in a 5-game series. They matched up against Miami for the third year in a row. It was a tight series, but the Lakers ended up winning it in 6 games. But this year, Chris Paul ended up winning the Finals MVP award. Now, time to move on to the next season. The 2013 to 2014 NBA season. This year, the Lakers had to give up Paul Gasol during the offseason. They couldn't afford his contract, and he ended up going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. This season, Derrick Rose starts breaking out and dominating in the league. The Lakers finished with a 61-21 record, finishing first in the West, but third overall behind Miami and Chicago. D Rose won the MVP award, and Joakim Noah won the Defensive Player of the Year award. Chris Paul made it into the first All-NBA team with averages of 27 points, 13 assists, and 3 steals. And Kobe Bryant made it into the third All-NBA team with averages of 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals. The Lakers made it past the first and second round easily, but ended up losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who ended up winning the finals that year, with Kevin Durant as the finals MVP. Time to move on to the last season of the video. The 2014 to 2015 NBA season. This season, the Lakers finished with a 59-23 record, clinching the second seed in the West behind the Oklahoma City Thunder's 65-17 record. This year, LeBron won another MVP award, and Kawhi Leonard got the Defensive Player of the Year award. Chris Paul had averages of 25 points, 12 assists, and 2.3 steals, and Kobe Bryant finished with averages of 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals. The playoffs were similar to last year's, with the Lakers losing in the conference finals to the Thunder, but this time the Heat ended up winning in the finals in a 5-game series, with LeBron as the finals MVP. After that, Kobe Bryant ended up retiring at the age of 37, and Chris Paul left the Lakers and signed with the Clippers. Now, let's go over CP3's whole career in this simulation. Chris Paul. Before I get into Paul's career as a player, I'd just like to add that there was really no point in going over Kobe's career, because Chris Paul joining the Lakers only affected his career by adding 2 more rings to his finger. Nothing really more to add to his legacy. Now, let's go over Chris Paul's career stat averages. He averaged 21 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 2.5 steals, and shot 51% from the field. He got 1 MVP award, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 2 rings, 1 Finals MVP, and 17 All-Star appearances. He earned 2 major records in his career, with the most steals ever collected with 4,056, and the most assists ever with 16,416. His time in the Lakers really gave him the confidence to become the player people always hoped he could be. If I had to rank him in my all-time players, he'd probably be top 20 or 25. If I had to rank him among best point guards, he'd probably be number 2 behind Magic Johnson. If I had to describe Chris Paul as a player in this simulation, I'd say he was just a better John Stockton. Overall, CP3 was a very impressive player. Now, that's gonna cap off this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are on that road and grind to 1,000 subscribers. Also, like the video and comment down below what you want to see me upload next. Now, have a great day and stay safe. I'm out.